Welcome back to another exciting episode of Capchat. I'm your host, Vanessa Victor, and with me are my two amazing co-hosts, Nema Lois and Sebastian Koloa. Guys, do stick around for the full hour. We've got a lot of interesting things lined up for you. And to kick it off, Bill Cosby, guys, sentenced to jail 3 years. And even after he gets out of jail, he has to do mandatory see a counselor. There's no way out. Do you think he should have gotten more years, despite the fact that he's old?
But they've kept it a range of 3 to 10 years. So it can be from 3 years, 4, 5, or even 6, or even 10 years. You never know. So it's a range from 3 to 10 years. And I actually, for his age, guys, regardless of the mistake he's done, which is very sensitive, but for his age, I really hope these 3 years pass by very fast.
Yeah, there's truth in what you're saying, and there's truth in, you know, there's the thing where people think like he's old enough, maybe he has changed or something like that. But with regard to me, is that this is an example to all the young guys coming up. Like I'm young, or maybe younger guys than me. They should understand that you will have to pay for whatever you did, whenever you did it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when you did it, because you would say that, okay, you would say that Bill Cosby was influential to a lot of people. I used to love his jokes. I used to love his shows. He was a very, very great guy. He's a very great guy. But whatever he did has an impact to the society. Imagine what he did, because he allegedly raped some girl.
It's no longer alleged. It's actually he did it.
Yes,
yeah, what I'm saying, I used the word allegedly because he dragged the people and then raped them.
Yes.
So imagine if that was your mother, because that was a long time ago.
Yes.
Imagine he did that to your mother. Wouldn't you be glad that he had some time to serve?
I would think it's not even enough, actually.
So, yeah, you see.
So I agree with you, Sebastian, in the sense that, first of all, he was one of those people throughout the years who used to judge other people, telling men to pull up their pants, to act right. But he had the dirtiest secret of them all. So I think he should probably leave him there until God rest his soul, he passes. He needs to serve time for what he did. It's as simple as that. He didn't just do it to one woman or two women. He did it to multiple women.
But again, it's also been heard that he's already in jail and he's started serving his time, and he made already calls to his wife saying that she should do whatever, right, however big the check is, just to get him out of there. Because I think he's not yet satisfied with this sentencing, so he wants to really get out of there regardless of what it takes.
Yeah, well, he's used to a good life, so he doesn't want. Even I would say that, because I don't want to go to jail. Do I want to stay in jail?
But
no.
at the same time, they're saying that with cases like his, whatever you were doing outside, when you get inside, they'll be doing to you whatever you were doing out there. So he might be on for a very, very dirty ride.
I like to understand that I don't understand what you're saying.
That's very true. I do understand what you're saying, by the way. Our next item on our list is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will Smith. He celebrated a very huge milestone, his birthday, I think it's his 50th birthday, by bungee jumping off of the Grand Canyon. I swear, he is goals. Will Smith is goals. Would you do that?
I would definitely, but it will take, I think it's like with him, he's done so much, guys. He's been places, he's seen the world at his best angle. So for him to do something like this, it's just like, you know, adding something up just spicier. But I would definitely go on for this. It looks very exciting.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt to have money, because it took 6 months for them to plan that whole thing. His wife was there, his kids were there, his ex-wife was also there. I tell you,
I just love their whole family.
Would you wait until you were 50 to do it, or if you had the money to do it, you'd do it now?
Okay, first of all, Will Smith is not goals for me. Two things. First of all, I wouldn't jump for anything. I wouldn't jump like that much. That high. We Africans, we really real blacks don't do that. That's a white man shit.
Speak for yourself. I would do it tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the first thing. But the second thing is that I really appreciate Will Smith for his, like, the way he has developed himself, his issues. But with regard to family, I don't think he's reached the heights that I would like to reach. Because with regard to his family, there's been a lot of controversy amongst his family. If you ask me, I don't think Jaden Smith has his body. I think that's not his body. I think something is wrong with him. I don't think he's all right. The girl is good, but there's a few issues with her also. But like if you and then there were issues about the kids with their father and mother. But with regard to like him as a person and the way he's changed the world, and with regard to his newly formed YouTube and Instagram and whatever, he's changing lives. He's motivating me every day. He's doing a lot of things. But with regard to family, I don't think I would like to have a kind of family that he has, because there's a lot of problems in his family that I don't think I would wish to have.
But Seba, that is like when you say the body and all that, that's body shaming to begin with.
Yes.
And then you never know with them what's going on the.
Did you see the kid when he was young?
But then no,
Okay,
Sebastian,
they're growing.
you're looking
A lot
at
of things are changing.
I saw me grow.
You're looking at it in a different way. Every family has problems. Just because their lives are very open, like Jada has the red table talk with the mother and the daughter, and they talk about a lot of things that are very personal. It doesn't mean they talk about everything. I'm sure that they also have personal struggles that they're going through. Their kids have personal struggles that they're going to. But they've not just decided to put everything out there.
True.
But no family is perfect. Find me a family that is perfect and I'll tell you it's a lie.
Okay, let me tell you one thing. What I'm saying is not that they don't have a perfect life or they don't have a good life. What I'm saying is I wouldn't like my family to be that way. Because there's a problem in openness. I have through experience I've learned that. I've seen my relatives who made it open, like between the parents and the kids. When you're a kid, you're not supposed to be open with your parents. That's what I learned. You need to learn from your parents. You don't need to be told that you have the openness to do whatever you wish, and then we will take it. And no, that's not what you're supposed to. But the problem now comes on to the thing that I always talk about, is that when you're rich, you pass through the kids' lives when you're still young, and then when you're like 17, 16, you already know everything. So I think that's the problem that's facing them. They have a lot of exposure. There's a lot of exposure, but I wouldn't like my family to be that way, and I wouldn't advise anybody else to have a family like that one.
But bottom line, I love the unity of this family.
Yeah,
you know,
me too.
You
me
have
too. That's true.
The first wife was there, all the kids were there. You see,
That's some rich people problems. Like I wouldn't like my if I had 2 wives or 3 wives, I would like my first wife to be my whatever I do.
But still, you know,
Wait until you get rich.
Especially the Africans.
Wait until you get
when
rich.
the Africans.
Wait until you get rich.
This is different, you know. Their family portrays love. It portrays that it's a normal family.
United.
They are having issues, or they might go through humanly issues, but at the end of the day, they have each other's back, and they are there for each other. So I think this is, I am for Will Smith's family.
Very true. Nema, you're both entitled to your own opinions. Our next story is we had Prince William in Tanzania just this past week. He was here actually for something that's a passionate pet project of his, poaching. He's been very adamant about it throughout the years. He does a lot of fundraising, crowdsourcing for it, and he even went, as you can see on the screen, went to see the president at the State House. Guys, Prince William in Tanzania, what do you think?
Well, to begin with, he's here for a very good cause. Environment and bringing the awareness in poaching and wildlife trade. So I think that's a very great move for the prince himself to come all the way from England till Tanzania and in Africa, because he was in Namibia, then he came here, and then in Kenya. So I think this is a very good move, and it's bringing the inspiration and the awareness which is actually supposed to be brought, that people should be aware that this is actually going on and what should be done to stop it, and all the measures and just everything, including wildlife trading, because people are really, I think that we are far behind when it comes to awareness of wildlife trading. So I'm really glad that he's here. He got to be here.
Yeah, it's a very, very good thing. First of all, just the thing that he came here, it means that other people can be like comfortable enough to come, because they're like, if he went there, he won't go to a place which is not safe. He won't go to a place which is not interesting. There's something of interest in this country that he wanted to come and see or talk about. There may be some other things else that he didn't want to talk about, but he came and talked to the president about, but we can't know that, right?
Oh,
but on the bottom line, whatever he said he came to do, it was a positive thing, because we need our wildlife. If you ask me, among the things that put us in the map of the world is our tourism sites.
Yeah.
So if he came to preserve some of that, I'm pro that. I'm pro that. He's a rich person. He's a very, very big person in the world. But at the end of the day, if he decided to do that, plus he's humble. We know him.
Yeah,
for
he's
a
very
long while.
chilled.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. I just wish he went to some other clubs so that we like to,
I don't think there's
we
security.
can holler at him.
I don't think there's sufficient security for him to be able to go to.
But on the other note, I know I'm pro like Vanessa and Naima. I know you will back me on this. He's a gentleman and he knows style, because he's a prince.
Yeah, he's
Okay, there was this problem that really about one of them, the media sites, the Medium. I think it was so and so magazine, but it was their online service, and they were talking about him, but they kept on saying
Princess. I know.
Prince.
I
Man,
swear.
That was really, really harsh on us. If it ever goes out, that's our Kenyan friends will laugh at us.
Kenyans,
very much.
Ugandans, Tanzanian media, we need to do better.
Yeah.
It's Prince William. He's been Prince William since he's been famous since he was a child.
before he was even
Just
born.
leave aside the Prince William thing. This is just something that you have to learn when you're in primary school or something like that. You can't say Princess William, right? So that was. But at the end of the day, this
Maybe he was
positive.
expecting the Duchess.
No,
Kate, maybe.
No,
Kate is
there's
just
no
having a
explanation to
fine
that.
No,
There's no explanation.
there is no
to that.
justification, guys. Let's move on to our next item, which is very sad. And I was just reading an article that the Guardian, our sister, it's also part of IPP Media. Children being kidnapped in Dar es Salaam. Guys, this is so sad. And the police in Dar es Salaam in the article said that the reason this is happening is because parents are very loose with their sharing of information in terms of with social media, posting their children, posting their wealth, the lifestyle the child lives, posting even on WhatsApp, like with these groups that we're in, you find somebody posting, I'm going to be doing this, or I'm doing this, or posting pictures, and this is what's leading, because some people don't have money, so when they see situations like this, they take it as an opportunity. I'll take your child, you give me money, I'll give it back.
Yeah. But with the cases which have happened, especially recently with like last week, these were cases like the child in Bezi was kidnapped in the church, and it had everything to do with the ritual stuffs.
Yeah.
The girl who took her, who went with her to...
3 years old, the child was 3 years old.
Yes, and then she was found 2 days later on. It was in some church, FPCT church, I think in Bezi, and it had everything to do with ritual stuff, but the rituals, they wanted a boy. So this was a girl, so they had nothing else to do with her. That's why she was found. But if she had been a boy, it means she could have never come back. So imagining the parents going through like just staying even a single minute without knowing where your child is, I can never imagine that life. You know, that is very devastating. You can't even explain it. These people are very inhuman. And the other second case is, it was a boy, a standard 5-year-old boy, and then he came from school, took his bike, and went to his friend's place. And then came this IST car with a white man, with a driver. And then he was asking for directions, but in English. So the boy was trying to explain it to him. And the man insisted on the kid getting in the car and showing the direction. But the boy didn't want to. The next thing, he just got in the car and they drove off. This kid never got back until as we speak. So you find cases like this, I don't think they come from our social media, though I know it also increases up.
That is according to the police in Dar es Salaam. That's what they're saying. That's their reasoning as to why these kidnappings are happening.
But I get the point that where it is, but also I'm saying they work hand in hand, because like the girl who kidnapped this girl child, she has no phone, she has nothing. She was just looking for a child which they can just take and use it for their own witchcraft ritual stuffs. But again, they work hand in hand, and I get the point well the Dar es Salaam police are saying, because it's true, a lot of us parents these days, we tend to expose our children more than we should, and I think we should take it as a lesson, myself included. I think we should all take it as a lesson.
Sebastian, do you think that, because like the child that was taken at church, 3-year-old child, do you think the parent is also responsible? Because that's a baby. Until you get that child taken from you, does it also reflect negatively that the parent is maybe not paying as much attention?
Yeah.
Or because we're in church, everybody is trustworthy?
Okay, I agree with you on one point. I don't agree with you on one point.
I'm asking a question.
Yeah. Now let me tell you what I agree with you. What I agree with you is that you said that like the parents, they get loose with their kids. That's too much. You can't leave your kid for like just to do it whatever she wants to do or he wants to do. That's one. What I don't agree with you is not that I don't agree with you. I just want to like change it or like bring it more, like give it more like weight. You said the kids, the parents are also to blame. If you ask me, the parents are all to blame, because if your child is taken away from you and you were with her or him in church, that's your problem.
That's your responsibility.
Yeah, that's your responsibility. You're all to blame. You're all to blame.
I am going to disagree with both of you guys on this.
I know. Now let me tell you one thing. We grew up in Morogoro, and then we came back to Dar es Salaam. When we came to Dar es Salaam, we were living at some place called Shekilango. It's the flats there. One day after we went to Shekilango, like after a week, we were playing with the fellow kids, and they told us that there's a match being played. I used to be good in football, very much. I'm still good though. But when we were playing, they told us that we have to go there. And we crossed the road to Ufi. There's the grounds there called Ufi. We played their football. Our mom came to take us from there, gave us an ass whooping from there
all
to
the way home.
Yeah, all the way home.
Yeah.
We learned that we're not supposed to cross the road without telling her.
Yeah.
You see, you know why she did that? It wasn't because other kids were not doing that. It was because she wanted us not to be that free.
Yeah.
That is where the problem starts.
Yeah.
When you're that free, you can do whatever you want. You can go to anywhere you want, and you're a kid. When you're a kid and you're told that you can have this and then let's go here, you don't ask.
I agree with you. I completely agree with you.
With me, like if I'm giving you like parenting advice, I don't have a chat myself.
You can't give me a parenting advice.
You never know. It may help.
Yeah.
Just make sure that your kid goes through the boundaries that you want.
Yeah.
Like she or he goes where you want her or him to go.
But guys, parents do that, and then these things sometimes
Most of the times when they happen, it's because they don't do that.
Yes.
Most of the times.
They are extenuating circumstances.
Accidents. Yeah, there are accidents.
But the rule
Most of the
is
times.
parents do need to have boundaries with
they
their
need to
children.
have
Children,
boundaries.
as from as young age as possible, they need to be aware of, if I want to do this, I need to tell my parents, I need to be around my parents. Anything can happen. Not everybody in this world is good and wants good for me.
Yeah.
That's
you drive, right? You drive through the road and you see kids all over the world, and you're asking yourself, how is this kid alongside this road?
Yeah.
How comes this kid goes to school alone, and like she's or he's like 3 years old, and he or she goes to to school by her own. And you ask yourself.
Sometimes,
like,
guys,
okay,
you should look at the circumstances and the kind of families which like what you're saying, those kind of cases. Because the well of families, you'll never find kids like the situations which you've just given.
Yes.
You will never find that. But the kids which you are finding on the streets, roaming around, going to school alone, these are families which are from poor families. Or
if you're poor, you can take your kid to school.
You can, but then again,
you should then.
You should.
Yeah.
But the then just
no,
try to
There's
wait.
no circumstance to hinder you from taking your kid to school. You can stop everything.
Because
and
if
go
you
to
start,
school with your kid.
if you start using the excuse of like, this one is poor, this one has to be at work, this parent has to be at work at 5 a.m., everybody will have an excuse.
Now the rich people will have more excuse because they have to go to work
The
early.
rich people have cars to go get these children. What I'm saying is,
no, you don't have.
Listen,
in the
what
road, you have to walk.
Listen, Seba,
you walk with your kid. You
that
walk
is
with
true.
your kid.
But what I'm saying is, bottom line is, parents do what's best for their kids. No parent wants their kid to be harmed.
There are parents who don't care about
that is like
okay,
that is like 1%.
Okay, guys, this is gonna be turned into a very, very, very hot debate.
I wish you have a kid together so that I can teach you.
I think we should actually try and get this as a main topic sometime soon. Now on to the opening of the Tazara flyover.
Yeah.
What I've heard from a lot of people is they're very happy the fact that it's reducing traffic congestion. But no, I won't ask these questions. Guys, what are your thoughts? I'm not going to ask this.
I will let Seba get started with this one.
Well, that's a positive thing. There's no question about that because it reduced the traffic and whatever. But there are people who are a bit critical of the issue. And if you ask me, they make sense of their criticism. But at the end of the day, it was something that we needed.
Yes.
It was there are people who don't call it a flyover; they just call it a bridge. Yeah. I don't care. I don't care what you call it. As long as it helps, as long as people can get to the airport on time, as long as people can get from Gongolamboto, from that point to town on time, I think that's a positive issue. And if it has a problem, or if it's not the real thing that we need for now, it's a start. You know, sometimes the thing is not the thing, but it's the thing that leads you to the thing. Yeah. So if that started and we haven't had that in all the years that we have been independent, in all the years that we've been colonized by the English people or the whatever, if we have that, we still need to be positive about that because it's something that helps us. But there has to be some explanation, especially on the down part, when people are going from the airport, on the side of the airport, when they're going down, they should make sure that because the roads, I think they get back to 2.
Yes.
Yeah, and
very quickly.
Yeah. So people have to be start about that. They have to keep up with the speed limit and whatnot. But that's still a very, very positive issue. I have passed through that road, and it's a very good thing. Now later, when we're going to the other thing, we can make bigger flyovers. Some people are just saying in Kenya they have such big things. I don't care. As long as we have
We've started from somewhere.
Yeah, this is something that we should be proud of. We should be proud of the president. We should be proud of
most definitely
the infrastructure people who did this. Because at last we finished something that we started, and this should be a good thing. And if it started in Ubungo, I think it will be better also for the betterment of all the drivers out there.
So, is it a flyover? Is it a bridge?
Okay, I'm not an infrastructure person, but I think for it to be called a bridge, there has to be water
no
between.
No.
Like if not, then it's a bridge.
Nema?
But it's a flyover because the government flies over. It flies over another world, right?
The government saying it's a flyover, and we're gonna stick with that. It's a flyover.
And we don't.
It's a flyover.
It's a flyover.
Yes,
right?
it's a flyover.
Yeah.
And again, as you said, it's a very positive thing.
It's a flyover. It's a very positive thing that our government is doing. They started this project and they finished it. And consensus is it has definitely reduced traffic for those heading to the airport or those heading to other areas. Let's go for a quick break and then we'll be right back. Keep it locked on Capchat.
We bring in their designers and professionals in informing you how to perfectly use your spaces, clear arrangements, creating courtesy corners to enchanted gardens. As we open up hottest deco trends in making your house a home.
On Saturday at 7:30 p.m.
are still watching Capchat, and dear viewers, this is the time where you can actually call us and tell us what your opinion is on our next topic, which is when is the right time to move from home. Mnaweza mkatupigia kwa 0677-333-000, 0677-333-000, and you can call us and give us your opinions in English au kwa Kiswahili. Usiwe na wasiwasi, tupigie. Guys, I'll start with Sebastian, because usually men tend to leave home much earlier than women.
Yeah, that's true. I think it depends with the note that when you're old enough to, okay, let me give you an example. Like, from what I learned is that when a girl starts dating somebody that lives in his own house, he will never date a person who lives in their home, like in her mother's house or something like that. He will never do that. It's like when you date somebody with a Ferrari, it's hard to date somebody with a Vitz, you know? It's a little bit hard.
You never go lower than that.
Yeah, you don't go lower. You know why? Because there's freedom, but not only freedom. There's some sense of responsibility when you live at your own house. Like, ever since I moved from home to go to my own house, I came to realize that I need things. You know, I need furniture, I need my own TV, I need my own, you know, whatever. Like, I need to now take people home and whatnot. But according to African tradition is that when you're going to get married, that's when you can move away from home. So it depends with the family in its reality. There are houses where they have a very big house that has houses outside the house.
Yes.
It's still in the same compound, but they have houses outside the house. There are those we call bomas, you know, the traditional houses, not only the rich people, no. The traditional houses, well, the owner of the boma or the household has a few other houses that he starts families out of that.
Yeah.
The families of the younger ones.
Yeah.
So I would understand that, like if you can go out and then maybe get married out of that. But with me, so if we go back to the the thing where you like the age group and you're educated and whatnot. I think when you reach the age where you start trying to have a family, that's when you leave home.
Okay.
Yeah, with me. That's with regard to me. But with regard to when you're going to the university, sometimes, most of the times, when people go to the university, after they just want to get out.
They don't want to go back home because they've experienced a lot of freedom, and then they start contemplating
There's a lot of
going back
repercussions when
home.
you're at home and you want to take Nema home.
So, Nema, what about you? What do you think is the right time?
Well, for me, the earlier the better, but just not too early, not too early, not too early, guys.
I think that was a good idea.
Do you think that was a good idea?
Okay, do you think that's a good idea?
Well, again, when you get out, when you get out of home,
just think, okay, take a deep breath. Okay, and then?
It's still a good idea. Because when you get out from home, it makes you think, it makes you grow, it makes you experience things that you wouldn't experience when you're at home.
That's right.
So it makes you responsible. Because you know, when you're running your own household, there's a lot. There's bills to pay, you know, there is how you live with your neighbors, because these are not the neighbors of your parents.
They're your neighbors.
These are your neighbors.
Yeah.
So you hold yourself in a certain way. So it shapes you up and grooms you up fast. So I think it's really a good thing to move out of home early.
Early.
But
the earlier the better.
The earlier the better. But again, there are consequences with it. You know, you might move out of home early and then you'll be too free. Or you just face some stuffs or some things that to the world or to other people, it will seem like it's hindering you or it's making you be a bad person or you're making bad choices. So I'll stand on the route that living home, the earlier the better.
Yeah.
Actually, dear viewers of Capital Television, I remind you again, please feel free to call us. Unaweza ukatupigia 0677-333-000, 0677-333-000, and mada yetu ni muda gani ambao ni muda mzuri wa wewe kama kijana kuhama kutoka kwenye nyumba ya wazazi wako kuhamia kwako. when is the right time for you to move from home to your own place?
Yeah.
Sasa, personally, I agree with both of you. I still stay at home. But I feel like there needs to be, you still need to be responsible. Even if you're living in your parents' house, you still need to be accountable. Because especially if you're working, if you're maybe in school and then you're going from school to home, I can understand, because usually students are not very financially stable. But if you're working, then you need to be able to contribute. Like,
as I said, there's a huge sense of dependency. Like it depends with how a person was groomed. Like if for instance you started in those schools that were very strict, and then all of a sudden you went to the university and then it was open for you,
yeah,
and you were free, there's a huge possibility that you're going to be vulnerable when you go and live by yourself, because you won't take the freedom just lightly. So I think if you're like that, you should just stay at home. You should get the grooming from home until you go out of your household. Because let me take an example of, let me give you an example of sports people. Like I had this this theory that most people, they become sportsful.
okay, Sebastian, real quick, we have Daniel on the line from Dar es Salaam. Hi, Daniel. Karibu Capchat. Hello.
Yes.
Hi, Daniel.
Yes, I want to have few comments on your topic.
Yes.
And I think there is one thing that says that the definition of adult is responsibility.
Okay.
Yes, and having responsibility, being responsible depends if you will move from home and go to your place. There is still responsibility. You are going to face them. So on my side, I think the right time of moving from your home to your own place, it's when you reach the adult age. I mean, if you're out of studies, you are employed and you're working, that's the right time for you to move from home to go to now start being stable alone. I think that's the right time.
Thank you very much, Daniel, for your opinion.
My Sisi, who is working and she's still at home. Thank you, okay.
No, yes, continue, Daniel. Hello? I think Daniel made a very good point. Once you're stable, working, then he thinks that is the right time for you to move out of home. But I don't think it's a clear-cut case. I don't think it's as simple as that. Because some people don't move out of home maybe because their parents are older and they need looking after. So there's a lot of different circumstances as to why children even
you can
have to
take
get
care of
jobs.
them when you're out of there.
How?
How?
Not everybody is rich enough to be able to hire somebody to take care of their parents.
No, you don't have to be rich to take care of your parents. You can just move out and then stay like somewhere near your house.
But then I understand,
because when you're working, when you're working and you're at your house, when you're at work, who's taking care of your parents?
Fair enough.
Yes, but then at the same time, for those who are not living home because of such circumstances, like they need to take care of their parents, when you move out, like you're saying that when you can take care of them when you're out of the home, but sometimes it's easier when you're actually around there. Yes, you go to work, but you go to work and you come back home. You don't go back to your house. You come back home, so it's easier.
From my point of view, what we're talking about here, when we say moving out of home, it's not necessarily like staying in a different house. What's necessary, you can make that house your house. If you're making that house your house, from my point of view, you have moved out of home.
Okay.
I think what we're talking about
True.
when we're saying that listen, them. When we're saying that you're living in your parents' house, is that they take care of the important things and you're still there. Like when they have to take care of the house, it's their house all a while, and you're living there. That's when we say you haven't moved out.
Okay, so what?
I am disagreeing.
Wait, so what if you're staying in your parents' house and you pay bills, you pay electricity, you pay water? If there's a problem with the house, something is not working, you call the fundi and you pay them for the fundi and do all the other necessary repairs. Then what does that mean? But it's still not your house; it's your parents' house.
That's your parents' house, and you can't say that you're running that house.
And then on the other end.
Okay, we have Valence from Arusha. Hi, Valence. Hello?
Oh, good night, yeah. Okay.
Mambo, Valence.
Safi, kivipi?
Safi, tupe maoni yako. I think Valence atatupihiwa.
What I was saying is that you're paying that and your parents have a problem. Like they are sick or something like that, what we were talking about. I think that's not moving. That's as good as moving out, because you can move out and then come back because you have to take care of the household.
What if they're fine and you're still doing all of those things?
You're still living at their house. Yes. If they're fine, they can do that for themselves. You can pay for them. You can help them do that when you're at your home house. See, the problem is, like, even through, as I said earlier, I'm a spiritual person. So, as a spiritual person, I'll say this: a man has to leave his household, his mother and father, and go live with their own.
Oh, we have our host's namesake.
We have a smart guy.
We have another Sebastian on the line. Mambo, Sebastian. Hello?
Poa, poa.
Sebastian, tunaomba upunguze sauti ya television yako tafadhali.
Okay, I can hear you.
Okay.
Talk to us.
Talk to us.
Okay, sauti ya television inapunguzwa.
Okay.
Now, I would like to comment about the matter you're talking there about the right time to move from home.
Okay. Yes, Sebastian.
Yes, I think the right time to move from home is when you are ready and not a minute before, when you are ready to face the world on your own, when you are ready to take care of yourself. You can move from home you can leave home up to 30 or 40 years old. It's not necessarily to move early or when you're mid-20s or after you're employed. Even if you are employed, you're a big man, not married, you can leave home.
Sebastian, do you live at home or have you left home?
I live at home.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Sebastian. So, here's another opinion. Sebastian says,
when you're ready.
When you're ready and not a second more. When you're ready to face the world.
Guys, when are you ready to be ready?
What if you're not ready and your parents would like you to be ready? And they're
when will you ever be ready? How can you know you are ready? Because if you say until you get a job, until you have a
wife,
a certain savings and all that, that will never come. Because
that's true.
You keep on, life keep on going, and then bills are there to be paid and there are other plans to be taken. So if you keep on waiting, I'm waiting for the right time, I'm waiting for it's never going to come. You just need to take that.
I think parents they have a very great role in when the kids move out, because sometimes, I have a few friends who lived with their mom after their fathers maybe left or passed away, and they had to live with their moms. And then the only thing that made them leave their houses is that they had to get married or something like that. And then you won't blame them because they were the only help that their mother had, So I think when you're ready thing can work with that, can really be positive when you're talking about that. But the other thing is there are some mothers that are not ready to let their
the children go.
Yeah, their newly husbands, because they are their children, but they make them as their husbands.
And we have another caller on the line. This is Bena kutoka Karatu. Hi, Bena.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, talk to us. What do you think about this topic?
Okay, if a person is still studying, that means that person still needs care from his or her parents. But as long as the person is done with his education or her education, that means that person is able to get his or her basic needs, right?
True.
So that person can be able to move away from home because already he has the capacity to get his basic needs or her basic needs. And that is what matters a lot in this life, right?
Right.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you, Benna.
Benna, can you give me your number?
Well, we better hope your fiance is not watching.
Yeah.
Well, I think there are very different factors that attribute as to what the right time it is to leave home. But I think it's always good for an individual to be able to stand on their own 2 feet and see if they can actually hack it. Because when you're living alone, there is nothing to fall back on. If you don't have electricity, you have to figure it out.
Yeah,
if there's no water, not just you, maybe you've not paid your water bill, water's been shut off because of problems. You have to figure it out.
Some people live out of the, like they get out of the parents' house, but still the parents are taking care of all the bills.
That is so true. That is so true.
I have some people I know that they are out of their houses. They have the freedom, but they don't have the financial freedom. They have to depend on their parents.
Would you consider that person as having moved out?
Yeah, literally, but not
halfway.
Not financially.
Yeah.
So if somebody is financially independent, but still living with the parents,
that's still different.
It's a different situation.
You can't get a girl to your parents' house.
Live the girl matter.
Live the girl matters.
It's just the fact that when you come back late,
example.
when you come back late, your mother will still question you, regardless that you're working, regardless that you're
So
single somewhere.
That's a second example.
You know, you need.
Mine was the first example. That's the biggest example, yeah.
But then with me, I guess when it comes to this, people should not be afraid, to go out there. With a lot of youngsters, they're scared of what if I don't make it, and then the whole thing of come back. That's the thing. They're scared of the whole thing of coming back home. Like, you can go out there, try it. If it doesn't work, come back home. Home is always home.
And then reschedule your
yes,
life and try
reschedule
again.
yourself, and then go out there. And then if it doesn't, home is always open for us. So we shouldn't be scared. Go out there, try it. It doesn't work. Pack your bags, go back home.
That's the sense of, there's something we call there's growing up and there's maturity. You see, you can grow up, but you're not matured enough.
Very true.
Yeah. So with regard to maturities, when you go out or when you grow up and act matured, you can always like for instance, I know some people, I know a lot of people who still live at home, but they're matured.
That is true. I've met those as well.
Yeah, they are those guys, and they help out with the family. They help the family stay strong, not only financially. Maybe maybe emotionally. Maybe there's problems between the father and the mother, and the kid is the one making sure that they stay together, or they act matured, and they are grown up more than him or her.
Yeah.
So there's that. But at the end of the day, most of the times, in the majority of situations, you just need to get out.
Okay, we now have Hassan from Tarime. Hassan, mambo? Tupe maoni yako kaka.
Mambo safi kabisa baada ya jioni.
Salama.
Mi naona muda sahihi wa mtu kutoka nyumbani. Muda sahihi wa kutoka nyumbani ni ule muda ambao anakuwa yuko tayari kwa ajili ya kuweza kumudu vitu vyote ambavyo vinahitajika katika maisha yake.
Okay.
Kwa hiyo haingalishi kwamba huo muda ameweza kupata mawazo akiwa na akili ya aina gani. Hata akiwa ameshakuwa mtu mzima, ni vyema atoke nyumbani akiwa ameshakuwa tayari kwa ajili ya kwenda kujicontrol mbele kwa mbele.
Asante. Thank you.
Aya Mura, tunashukuru Mura.
So,
that's true. What he said.
Very true.
That makes sense, because sometimes you have to learn when you're in a certain situation. You don't need to have that type of life that you understand that right now I can take care of myself, so I'm getting out of home. Yeah. Maybe sometimes you need, like for instance, if I take an example of myself, I went out of home when I could be taken care of, a bit more at home. But I decided to get out of the house because I decided that because I realized that if I go out, I'll realize more problems, and in solving those problems, maybe I'll get to where I am, and maybe that got me where I am. Maybe it didn't, but maybe
it's making you
head
there.
Yeah, it's making me head there, and I'm almost there.
That's good.
Yeah.
We're here getting all the tips so that when we see people who go out there and they make it, you know, it's like a learning board. Like you go and ask for
and
tips.
I know a lot more people who made it out of home than who made it at home.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. That's very true. Because at the end of the day, you have to look at it as you were saying, Sebastian, that when you're living by yourself, ultimately, you'll face problems. Even if you're living at home, you'll face problems. But the types of problems that you face living by yourself are problems that you probably will never face living at home.
Yes,
because
right.
home is your safe place.
Yeah.
It's your comfortable place.
It's where you can go back.
The problems that you face are the normal problems that you've been facing.
You guys follow football? By the way, today it was a 0-0 draw between Yanga and Simba, so there's nobody speaking this week. It's a comfortable week. We have another
social media has been very quiet, that's true. We have a caller from Mbeya. Hello.
Prosper.
Hello.
Hello. Habari.
Salama. Za kwako?
Hello.
Tunakusikia vizuri kaka.
Hii mada. Hello.
Ndio.
Unasikia?
Tunakusikia vizuri kaka, tupe maoni yako.
Maoni yangu, hii mada inahusu sana familia ya Kizungu au familia ya Kiswahili. Kwamba hapa nitaka tujue kama ni familia ya Kiswahili.
Familia ya hapa kaka.
Ya hapa kwetu. Hapa Bongo Kibongo kwetu zaidi.
Ndio.
Sasa kama hapa Kibongo kwetu mtu akishafika kwenda chuoni ndio ameshaondokana na familia hapo nyumbani.
Hana chake tena, hamna kurudi.
Wewe chunguza tu familia zetu za Kibongo, ukishaondoka tu kwenda chuoni ndio basi umeondoka.
Tuseme haujasoma. Kama haujasoma.
Yaani kwa familia za Kiswahili hujasoma huko kijijini unalima lazima ujenge nyumba ya nyasi pembeni.
Wewe ukifikisha miaka mingapi tuseme? Miaka 10 na ngapi?
Nani?
Ukifikisha miaka mingapi tuseme hujasoma, unalima. Ukifikisha miaka mingapi hivi uondoke?
Kuondoka? Yaani
ukifikisha miaka mingapi?
Familia zetu za Kibongo kwa mfano kwa wafugaji. Ukishaweza kuswaga ng'ombe kama ukienda kwa mfano wale wafugaji wale. Ukishaweza kuswaga ng'ombe ufikisha miaka 16 mpaka 22. Yaani wewe lazima uwe na nyumba pembeni na mke unaozeshwa. Na kama ni binti ukifikisha miaka 16 lazima uozeshwe kwa familia za kifugaji, na za kikulima ndio hivyo hivyo tofautiani yani.
Sasa hiyo ni kwa mujibu wa hiyo jamii. Wewe unapofikiri, unafikiri hiyo ni sawa? Wewe unafikiri hiyo ni sawa?
Sio sawa.
Sasa wewe unapofikiri,
unajua maisha sasa hivi ni tofauti na miaka ya nyuma. Sio sawa. Maisha ya miaka ya 80 mpaka 90 ni tofauti. Sasa hivi lazima mtu yani tunasema watoto wanaokulia kwenye taa na waliotulia kwenye moto wa vijinga ni tofauti.
Sasa.
Umenielewa hapo?
Tumekuelewa sana tu kaka.
Kwa hiyo sasa hivi lazima mtu aende shule, asome. Tofauti na zamani ilikuwa lazima ujue kuchunga, kulima ndio ukajitegemea. Ukishajua kulima una shamba eka moja lazima uwezeshwe mke.
Asante sana.
Asante.
As he was saying, there are different traditions throughout Tanzania where with the livestock keepers, I'm not particularly convinced because I don't approve of them. 16, 17 is still quite young, I think, even for a man to get married or have a woman or have a wife. But let's go for a quick break and then we'll be right back.
as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
To be rich, I have to be a business person.
It's not an easy road at all.
People need to understand. You must quickly think, how cost effective are you going to be?
Business acts as a way in which it can bridge that gap.
Business Edition will keep you informed on latest developments in the financial sector, extractive industry, tourism, agriculture, energy, construction, and so much more. Meet entrepreneurs who create employment opportunities. Watch Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Back, you're still watching Capchat, and if you've just joined us, you've missed a very big chunk of this week's show. Hope we'll see you again next week, but let's continue. Guys, let's check out some interesting clips and memes we have. Let's look at this first one right now. What's up statuses of a heartbroken lady? OMG, that's a long queue.
Yeah, they tend to put a lot of statuses. But sometimes they don't have to be heartbroken. They just have to be, you know.
Or if they've just gone out to a very lit place and everything is it's quite happening. This is what usually goes on.
If something is happening, you can put one video and it shows everything that is happening, right? But when you're heartbroken, the thoughts keep coming back to you. You know, you're like, okay, let me pause this. And then you ain't nothing. And then only God can judge you. And then this is everything.
And they do say when you're in a negative space, because breaking up is like having something die. So there's the stages of anger, grief, then finally sadness, and then depression.
And then lastly, acceptance. So until someone reaches that stage of accepting that it's actually...
It's the process. It's just now the processes on WhatsApp statuses.
Yeah, that's the problem. If you have to build your process in the WhatsApp status, that's where the problem starts now. You don't need to do that, and that makes the thing even worse, because there are some people who have been in that situation, and they will understand it. They'll be like, oh, she's heartbroken. They will text you, and then they'll make the thing even bigger than it was in the first place. Yeah, your girlfriends will be calling you, and you're like, what happened?
Maybe actually for some women that is a call for help.
Yeah.
Call for attention. Like, ask me what's going on. I need
somebody
somebody to talk to.
Yeah. Definitely a call for attention.
Okay, guys, let's go look at our next meme. She was my crush until she posted, "If you pull me down, I will rise up."
Yeah, she was to say rise up. I was like, okay, if she doesn't understand the difference between rise up and rise up.
And pull P-U-L-L.
Okay, I wish she's kidding, and I wish, okay, from my point of view, especially in Tanzania, I can say I have been a victim, but I can say that I have seen such kind of texts. Not necessarily on my phone, but from very, very beautiful girls that they look very beautiful. They speak very beautiful in Swahili, and then when you chat, it's a different thing. It's a hustle.
Isn't that a turn-off though? Why not just text in Swahili then?
Yeah,
if you're not confident in your grammatical,
if you don't understand the thing, like there are some people who haven't laughed in that joke because they haven't understood. They were like, she wrote the right thing. I was like, you know, there are some people who
write like this.
Okay, for me, when you write X instead of C, that's a turn off, or X instead of S, that's a turn off for me. But for some people, that's huge. You know, they like that. they're like this person.
But that would be sort of like abbreviation. There's a difference between abbreviation and poor grammatical spelling.
What I'm saying, if that's an abbreviation and it turns me off, and it turns somebody else on, then maybe the person who doesn't understand that this is wrong, they'll be like, oh, this girl knows English enough. Even if I don't know what she said, but she wrote it in English, then I'm like, okay, this is the thing.
Nemo, if you were not comfortable or confident in your writing ability in English, would you type in English?
No. Big no. Because I will feel even more...
Because you're comfortable in English.
No, that's not the case. There's some words...
If you weren't, you would.
No, that's not the case. There's some people I'll be texting and I feel their grammar is...
How do you know if you're not comfortable in English?
This is the way. Listen,
no!
You don't know.
Sebastian.
I think I'm good at Russian.
No, it's this way. There's some people when you're
maybe
texting,
after you've had Russian vodka. guys, let's look at the next meme. Relax, Peter. It's just a small cut with a scalpel. Don't be nervous. Doctor, my name isn't Peter. I know, Peter is me. Oh, I would get up and run away.
Yeah,
wow.
That's a good one though. But the doctors have some ways of making sure that you. First of all, I know like a lot of doctors in Tanzania, they drink a lot, so they're like, okay, I'm gonna do what I have to do, but just you need to chill.
don't say that. The medical board is going to really get up and start questioning like doctors drinking and all that. I
can attest to that too.
I know if they get on me, I'll be like, I know you and you.
I know over 20-something doctors.
She's a doctor.
lot of them are in my family.
She's coming to their rescue.
Yes.
She's a doctor. So
so you have to defend them. But I know over 20-something doctors, and 95% of them drink a lot.
Yeah, they do.
No, first of all, I'm not a doctor, and I'm just in the medical world, and people are...
Same thing, potato.
What I'm saying is, if you say like that, you make it sound like all medical personnel are... they have something
Not
else.
all of them.
Not all of them.
Or most of them. Or even some of them.
Most of them. If we could, we'll make this a topic for another day.
We'll make this a topic, definitely.
Okay, let's go look at our last meme. Man, this avocado looks like it was brought up in a loving home with both parents and even taken to private school. This joke goes over my head because I don't like avocados.
Oh,
seriously?
I'll let you guys take it.
Oh,
I just got my saliva like full, like this with rice and beans.
I don't get it.
That'll be the best meal I ever. Like, you know what I have to do there? I have to take my knife and then hit. You know, that seed there, and then take it off, and then it just remains.
I can actually visualize that in my head. Right
I have to do that with my clothes off. Yeah,
I don't get it.
No, the thing is,
avocados taste like nothing.
I just have to put some.
It tastes like nothing.
For you, if you feel like it tastes like nothing, you should start with salt a bit, just to.
I've tried with salt. I've tried with chili.
What's your favorite fruit?
No, just fruit. The salt.
My favorite fruit. I like fruits. It could be a pineapple. Could be.
What's your favorite vodka?
I don't drink vodka.
What's your favorite whiskey?
Now we are going all into the whole drink.
Whiskey?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
It's Camu XO.
Camu XO. That's the problem. No, whiskey doesn't go with.
Really? Whatever I had said you'd have said doesn't go with.
Yeah.
So
I would have. but man, avocados. Okay, I grew up in a house next to an avocado tree, like 3 of them. So
that
I really
that
love
is hashtag goals.
Yeah.
Guys,
that goals.
We have reached the end of Out and About. Please do join us again. Oh, my bad. I am actually going back to my program, but. We've reached the end of Capchat for this week. Please do join us again next week. On behalf of everybody who's behind the scenes working to bring you this program, we want to say thank you. And thanks to my co-hosts, Nema Loy, Sebastian Koloa. I'm Vanessa Victor. Until next time, have a good time.
Showroom Offices, Ikunda Bookshop, Kariakoo mtaa wa Mhonda.